This is a quick example of how to make a feed port on a paintball gun body or breech assembly, assuming that you have the cylindrical portion of the body or the breech adapter already modeled. The way I like to do it is by starting with a section view. In Fusion, you go to the Inspect menu at the top, go to Section Analysis, and select the plane or feature that will intersect the view plane that will slice the breech portion in half. I've done this drawing based on the default planes and axes in Fusion. Go to the view that presents it at the side like this and begin creating a sketch. I find it easier to start with some construction geometry that matches the internal features that I've already modeled. If you see the small blue triangle, it indicates that I'm hovering over the midpoint of that line, and it lets me snap to the existing geometry. I can turn this into construction geometry in the selection pane on the right in the sketch palette. And because I have the feed neck itself already drawn, I can move along the top of it until it snaps to the midpoint, again indicated by the blue triangle. Draw a line until it snapped to 90 degrees. If you hit the tab button, you will go to an angle if you want to enter some arbitrary dimension other than 90. Select the check mark to escape out of that command. Turn that into construction geometry as well. And I'm going to assume the dimensions that were used by AGD in the slug body drawing, which was essentially a 3/4 inch ball end mill plunged into the body to bottom out with the breech, the bottom of the bore. So I've got the 3/4 inch circle drawn, which will not be construction geometry. So what I can do is I can select that, hold down the control button, and also select the lower body, the line that I drew as a construction geometry along the bottom of the bore, and I can tell those to operate tangent to each other, which will drop the 3/4 inch diameter circle down to the bottom of the bore, as this was already fixed geometry to the midpoint that is now aligned correctly. I can now pick a line, pick an approximate quadrant point on the circle, and draw a line going up. Again, it'll snap to 90-degree intervals unless you tell it to do otherwise. I can now select both the line and the circle and tell those to be tangent to each other. That will move the line to be tangent to the circle, so it's no longer approximate to your quadrant. It is actually snapped to your quadrant point. Now continue to the bottom section, which will snap to the intersection of the first drawn vertical line and the bottom quadrant of the circle. And close your geometry as if you were looking at a half section view of a ball end mill. You can then go to the sketch menu, go to trim, and remove the components which are not relevant to a revolved feature, which again would be essentially half of a 3/4 inch ball end mill. You can now stop the sketch and go to the create menu at the top and choose revolve. For your profile, you would select the components that you drew. It may force you to make more than one selection to get the entire profile selected. Now select Axis in your Revolve menu and choose the center line of the breech, and it will make this revolution. If you are intersecting a body, the default option for operation will be cut, but if you want to join, create a new body, or any of these things, you can select it right there. For this, we obviously want to cut it, and select OK. You now have a round bottom hole through the breech as if it was cut with a plunge cut from a 3/4 inch ball mill. If you want to see the body without a section view, just go over to the analysis option on the left hand side of your browser and turn the light bulb off, and your body or breech insert is now complete again, and you can see the radius along the bottom of the breech to eliminate any sharp transitions. I hope this was helpful.